So I'm going to show you a little trick I just learned about peening on a pommel onto the end of a knife. There are not many videos on the internet about just how to go about peening on a pommel, and I learned a new trick today, and I thought you might like to know what it is since there's not much out there. So I don't have an official blacksmith vise, the kind with the leg that reaches down and transfers the pressure of the hammer to the ground. I just have this regular old Harbor Freight vise, and it works pretty good. But what I encountered over my time of trying to master this craft is a problem I came up with is every time I tried to peen on the end of a hammer on the end of the tang here, it would of course slide the blade further and further down until it hit the guard. And then of course what happens there is it knocks, you hit that with your hammer and it knocks your guard loose. So you put your knife together, you put your guard on it, you put your handle material on, put your pommel on, and you leave just a little bit, like about the end of about maybe an 1/8 or 3/16 inch of steel out, right? And then you smash that down to fill the bowl of the pommel. The problem is it always knocks the blade further and further down. And I struggled with this over and over again on a couple of different knives. And I got the one way I found this, one solution I found of this was to drive the end into a 2x4 chunk of wood and pound it. And that worked, but it drives it so far into the wood that you then struggle to get it out. If you clamp it really hard into your vise, it can scratch up your blade, and typically by the time you're ready to put your handle on, you've already done a lot of sanding and don't want to scratch that up. So just today, I was working on this knife. Now this knife is actually not going to get a pommel, and I'm not going to peen a pommel on, but it occurred to me, this little process, and so I tested it out on this knife. What we can do is take a couple of blocks of wood and set the wood in the edge of the bevel right there on both sides, like such. So now when we clamp that into the vise, the pressure of pounding on the end of the tang will apply the pressure into the ricasso area here. Now, I know you can't see it on the camera, and that's because I'm just using a phone to film this, but give me just a second here, I'll show you. Okay, so I've got it locked in the vise, and the edge of the wood is catching the edge of the ricasso on both sides right there. And I can squeeze that down as tight as I want, and I don't have to worry about it marking up the steel. And when I tap on the end, I can tap all day long. It won't knock my guard loose, and it won't slide my knife down. And I'm going to try that the next time I try to peen on a pommel here. And if you were wondering, how can I do that without driving the knife into a stump of wood 4 inches deep and then struggle to get it back out, I hope this little idea helps. So again, you just set your couple little blocks of wood right up on the edge of the ricasso and let the ricasso take the pressure from the hammer strikes.